majority of people that ICE is rounding up and taking out of their homes from their families. They're separating families. They're using children as bait.
But
the majority are not criminals.
But can I respond to that? You talk about the children. Here's what I'd say. Do we know that during the last administration, we had tens of thousands of children who were sex trafficked by the cartels, who were brought into our country in profoundly dangerous and predatory conditions.
Let's talk about this administration.
But here's the point. Unless you enforce the border, you invite that kind of conduct.
And Black history has been erased from public spaces.
Black history is not erased from public spaces.
We do have to get to Iran when Pacific
skeptical of this, but I promise you
it's
I have to go to break. Anna, God, please, we have more with Vice President JD Vance when we come back. Don't do that.
So guys, the Vice President of the United States, JD Vance, decided he wanted to go into the hen house. Some people are calling it the lion's den, but these aren't lions. These are cackling hens. Of course, he cooked with Crisco like he always does over their ridiculous talking points, lies, and smears. Let's go ahead and react to it. By the way, guys, there's a new feature on YouTube where you can hype videos. So be sure to like the video, hype the video. It helps out a lot. Appreciate you.
So President Trump has called affordability a hoax. He said that, not me. He's pouring money into this ballroom of his and the reflecting pool and a White House cage match. All these things. Why is he doing them when you just, everybody knows that Americans are struggling? What is he spending all this money for?
Well, I got to defend the president on the hoax point. What the president said is the idea that Republicans caused the affordability problem is a hoax. And I think that's true. If you go back to the Biden administration, inflation got up to 9% under the Biden administration, okay? Right
Over
now it's
9%.
at 3.5%.
He just said he loves the inflation.
What he said, Anna, what he said is that he loves the fact that the inflation is going to come down when this war is over. That's what he said.
That's not what he said.
That wasn't a direct.
No, I love it. The numbers were great. You know what I really love? I love the inflation. You know why? Because as soon as this war is over.
What he said is, I love the inflation because it's going to come down when the war is over. And
You were the leading voice behind the scenes to release the Epstein files. The report says you even floated having Tucker Carlson interview Ghislaine Maxwell to clear the president's name, but you were rebuffed by your people. Why?
One of the things you see in the Epstein emails is that Jeffrey Epstein hated Donald Trump, and that Donald Trump literally reported Jeffrey Epstein to the police.
Okay,
that's one of the things that came out of these files.
They were best friends for about a decade. And remember, he signed that Transparency Act under duress when some Republican women, Congresswomen like Lauren Boebert, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, did not give in to his pressure of not signing. He brought Lauren Boebert into the Situation Room to pressure her into caving on not voting for that bill.
So let me respond to that. So
that's all true.
Let me respond to that. So number one is, yes, Donald Trump, and he said this, he knew Jeffrey Epstein back in the 1980s. He also threw Jeffrey Epstein out of his club when he found out he was a creep and reported him to the police. That's something that the media often misses when it reports this story.
Why are we still talking about Epstein when, considering what JD Vance just said? Why are we still talking about this? I got people that I've known for longer than a decade. Some people who I hang out with periodically, right? And I don't know everything that they got going on. And if I find out, I'll disassociate myself. They're trying to act as though, well, just because he knew Jeffrey Epstein for a long time, and then he's automatically guilty by association, which doesn't make any sense at all. If they were such best buddies, then why the hell would he report him to the cops?
The fact that they knew each other in the 80s, which the president himself admits, they ignore the fact that he narked on him to the police and led ultimately to Jeffrey Epstein's downfall.
It sounds like you believed that there would be men in the files who would be held accountable. Rightfully so. And the American people are with you on this. Why haven't we seen the release of over 2.5 million additional Epstein file documents? It seems like you are someone that is on the right side of history on this.
So we have released, I think it's 6 million files or 6 million pages of documents. My understanding is the 2.5 million, Sonny, I'm going to check on this to make sure, but my understanding is that a lot of those are duplicates of things that have already been released. Like, we want to release these files, but you need the court approval in order to release the files. Sometimes we would apply to release the files and the courts would say no. So those particular documents, I would need to actually know exactly what you're talking about.
These people, they just want to nail Trump so bad. They think, well, maybe if we release more Epstein files, then we'll finally get them. It's not gonna happen.
And I believe, as a Christian, I can tell my kids why it's important to have borders. I get that. There are laws, there are resources, I get all that things. It's much harder to explain when I see someone dragged out of a house or wrongly taken to a thing that isn't a violent criminal. That is.
Guys, literally, if you don't pay a parking ticket and they want to come after you, they can put a warrant out for your arrest, and they could come to your house and drag you out. Like, they could take you from your car. They could take you from your kid's school. What is with these freaking crybabies? Like, what makes you being an illegal alien suddenly so much more sympathetic? I just don't freaking understand.
It's a little more nuanced as a parent to try to say when someone's referred to as vermin or scum, when I teach them in school about people that have done that before, but this is different. It's very hard as a parent and a Christian.
The lack of education. I would urge you as a Christian and as a father to visit those
You should never, if you're trying to make a point to somebody, you should never try to invoke their religion, because they could invoke their religion on you for which you're supporting, because it was inhumane for them to have the border open in general. Tons of people, including children, straight up went missing and wound up in child sex trafficking, which I hope JD Vance brings up here.
Some of the people that I've been told by the media were completely peaceful, had never violated any laws. You actually look into the record and you find out that those people were actually being violent, or they did have a criminal record. They had a sex trafficking conviction.
Don't have criminal records. The majority of people that ICE is rounding up and taking out of their homes from their families, they're separating families. They're using children as bait.
But
the majority are not criminals.
But can I respond to that, guys? Let me just say this. Okay. So you talk about the children. Here's what I'd say. Do we know that during the last administration, we had tens of thousands of children who were sex trafficked by the cartels, who were brought into our country in profoundly dangerous and predatory conditions?
Let's talk about this administration.
But here's the point. Unless you enforce the border, you invite that kind of...
Oh, wait, she don't want to talk about that. Oh, well, no. Let's talk about Trump. Like, let's talk about what's happening now. Girl, you need to shut your little stupid... Look, I'm trying not to go in a profanity-laced rant on this dumb broad. Let's keep going.
In profoundly dangerous and predatory conditions.
Let's talk about this administration.
But here's the point. Unless you enforce the border, you invite that kind of conduct. You think that our immigration policies are inhumane based on the reporting of one person with a political bias. What I'm telling you is that it's inhumane to allow cartels to sex traffic people across our border.
You come from a poor community.
Sure.
You know how hard it has been for people.
Here we go.
But the Catholic faith says we take in immigrants. We take in people who don't have or who are having a hard time. How do you justify both things?
Damn, we supposed to take in all of them? Is that in the Bible or something? I didn't ever see that.
You can't set a standard that says you're not allowed to deport anyone unless they've committed a violent crime. You've got to enforce the law equally and justly.
Let me do my follow-up.
You don't have to raise your hand.
Let me do my follow-up.
Yes, I do.
Because you have folks of color in your family.
Sure.
So when you see, things, the Emmett Till stuff coming down, or them doing all kinds of removal of information of black heroes.
What exactly are you talking about, Whoopi? Because you just...
I'm talking about
Emmett Till was
I can tell you all this. Yeah.
No, I want to know what she's...
You don't know what I'm
respond to
talking
your
about.
actual point.
So,
allegedly the administration is holding back the appointments of people based on skin color. I've seen
I'm talking about
the
a
story.
host of things. I'm talking about black history getting erased from public spaces. Black voter districts are being dismantled. Black leaders are being sidelined from our ranks. Where do Americans of color fit in this vision? Because it doesn't seem like we fit.
I think, Sonny, my view...
And if I may, since October of last
year... So how many
there's been
times y'all going to ask this man a question? Is she the third person? Here comes Anna Navarro again trying to talk. I'm like, let this man freaking answer. These people are so annoying.
Something like 6,668 refugees allowed into the country. All but 3 were white South Africans.
So, first of all, I'm very skeptical of that number because we have a lot of different immigration pathways in the United States of America. But let me just address Whoopi's point. Look, first of all, you asked the question, and maybe you don't believe this coming from me, but I think everybody is welcome in our political coalition. Frankly, even if you didn't vote for us, everybody is welcome in our country so long as you're an American citizen with the duties and the legal obligations and rights to be here. But Whoopi, let me just give you an example of this. Okay, so you say that we're anti-minority or anti-black.
No, I didn't say that. I asked. See?
Well, okay, fine. Fair.
Don't start any stuff
All
with
right,
me,
okay,
man.
all
Don't
right.
get me in trouble. Don't start no stuff with me. But
I misinterpreted your question,
That's
but
all right.
let me answer your actual question there. What I'm saying, I think, okay, look at Washington, D.C. One of the most democratic and one of the blackest, by a share of population, blackest cities in the United States of America, has seen a radical decrease in violent crimes and sexual assaults and in murders. We have tried to take the crime issue seriously, in part because we believe everybody, whether you're black or white or rich or poor, deserves to live in a safe neighborhood.
why does the crime? Where does the crime step in? This is not about crime. This is about.
Here we go.
Right. This is about human
Sonny,
rights.
What you're saying is we got to do
history's
more on the
being-
economy.
And black history has been
Sonny,
erased from public
Black
spaces.
history is not
That is
erased from
true.
public
Guys,
spaces.
we do
That
have to
is
get to
not
Iran
right.
when we get back.
Yeah,
There's some very
guys,
important news to
I'm
get
telling
to.
you, we celebrate Black history. We celebrate all American history in this
They-
administration.
Can I ask
You guys-
The White House literally held a Black History Month celebration, and this fool talking about Black History being erased. Like, girl, shut your little stupid butt up.
I'm grateful to the Lord. I'm grateful to the president.
Muhammad Ali, who was a friend of mine, I put a picture of myself and Muhammad. It was another piece of work. You talk about a piece of work. But he could fight, couldn't he, huh? Mike Tyson, boy, I tell you, Mike has been loyal to me. Whenever they come out, they say, Trump's a racist. You know, it's like a statement. Trump's a racist. Mike Tyson goes, he's not a racist. He's my friend. He's been there from the beginning, good times and bad.
I love him. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say about that racist stuff. And don't be looking at me on the news, hating on me because I'm standing up for somebody that deserves to be standing up for. Get off the man's back. Let him do his job. He's doing the right thing. Back up off of him. And Grandma said it.
I might be skeptical of this, but I promise you,
I
it's
have to go to break. Anna, God, please, we have more with Vice President JD Vance when we come back. Don't do that.
All right, guys, what a freaking ish show. These people are totally unhinged. How you gonna ask? This is one thing I can't stand about Democrats. Ask a question. They ask questions, and then as soon as you start talking, they just like want to talk over you. Like, no, you're lying. You're wrong. Here's the facts. If you think you know it already, don't ask no questions. Okay, don't come at nobody talking about, oh, I got questions, and then somebody starts to answer you. That's not true. It's this and this, and it's like, well, if you know everything, then how come you not the president or vice president? How come you're not in somebody's cabinet or in Congress somewhere? It's because you couldn't hack it. JD Vance obviously could. He freaking hacked some hens up today too, because these people don't know what the hell they're talking about, never have, and they never will. But these are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm out. Shout out to my members, patrons, and fellow anomalies: Cyber Noodle, 655, The Great, Bella Scott, Carpentier John, and Pinecone 6. I appreciate you guys every single day.
I have a present for you. Smile for the camera.